Well, I actually initially always liked the 510, and then I also really liked the Hakosuka GTR, the 72 Skyline. But as soon as I was around 18 is when I got my license, and I was looking for cars. And even back then, they were way out of my price range. I had actually just bought a '07 Scion TC from the dealership when this popped up. And so I rushed to sell it. Luckily, my friend bought my TC, and because when I saw this Sentra, it had the same very square old Japanese body style that I loved. Kind of reminded me a lot of the 510 and the Hakosuka, and it was white, tan interior. That's like one of my favorite combos. So I had to make a move on it. What's my favorite thing about it? Well, I would have to say that the body style and how much it resembles the cars, my old dream cars, which is the Hakosuka and the 510. But I really tailored it to my style, the overall aesthetic of it, with the dories, and that old boxy Japanese style. It's just, that's what does it for me. It's SR20 swapped, front wheel drive from a 92 Sentra SER. I wanted to kind of keep it true to its lineage, and so there was only really one high-end model for the Sentras, and that was the SER later on in life. This is a B11 chassis. The SER I had was a B13. They didn't come out with SERs until the B13, but there's an SR20 motor, DE. It's got hot shot headers, one-off coilover suspension from Hot Bits that I had to go through quite a bit through Google translations, trying to communicate with people in Malaysia just to make sure that everything was getting communicated right. But eventually I did get that. I have a 4-point chassis brace. I have front and rear, thicker front and rear sway bars, SSR dories on hand cooks. I got an Apexy exhaust. There's a Recaro seat in there, which is truly vintage. I had two seats. I had to reupholster them to make one really nice seat, and that actually worked out really nice. And that's pretty much it. Cusco Tower strut bar. I really wanted this build to be just a fun driver. I wasn't expecting to make a ton of power or go insanely fast. It does really great up in the mountains because the chassis is so tight, and it's got just enough power to have fun. Future plans. Well, I really want to get the rear end lowered. They gave me a suspension and it was supposed to come, but through the Google Translate with the people, with the reps over in Malaysia, there was some disconnect and they didn't get that part of it, so I still need that. I do have an adjuster cup. I think I just need to drill a hole where the bump stop is and then bolt that in. And then what else do I want to do? I would really love ITBs on that DE SER or SR20. I think that would just make really good sounds. I'd love to run a standalone. And most of the mods that I want to do is pretty much restoring it to have like a really clean body. Even though the paint is nice, it was a Mako paint job, and it's lasted me 10 years. But I'd like to there's some small rust. I'd like to get that taken care of. I'd like to get the engine bay painted. Again, run the standalone with a wire tuck just a super clean, I really just want to clean it up at this point. My favorite memory in the Sentra would have to be when it's probably around 2015, I decided to move to Idaho and I drove across the country. It took me 3 days. It was just me and my cat Peanut, and we stopped twice, once in Chicago and once in Colorado. It was actually a really relaxing and exciting drive at the same time. Please, manufacturers, make more parts for my car. There's fucking nothing for this thing, but that's all right. I'm never getting rid of this car. I love it so much. It's the one thing. It's the one car I've owned it the longest. Again, over 10 years, and I don't have any intentions of ever getting rid of this.
And at the rate that this man pedals through cars, that's pretty impressive.
Seriously. Now, guess we just go for a drive.
Yeah.
In the arms of an angel, fly away from here, from the dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. For $5 a day, you can help bring back this S13 240SX.